Well, next up, it is a pleasure to welcome back to our KCRW studios the band Tennis. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Good to see you again.
You too.
So
Through
this
beautiful glass window.
Yeah, this is your third time here to our studios. Ritual and Repeat came out last year, but I'm glad we had a chance now to see you. Love the album.
Thank you.
Good stuff. And we've sort of watched you grow and you know, you've been out there on the road. And anyway, it's nice to see.
Thank you so much.
So I do want to catch up with you and find out, you know, any changes and things, you know, just what you've been up to of late. But let's get into your first set for us today.
All right.
Tennis live on KCRW.
I never work for free.
I guess that's my cue.
I
All
got a
right.
wink and a smile for you.
Tennis live on KCRW. Very nice.
Thank you.
I love you guys.
Oh, geez. Thanks. I love you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's tell the audience some background on the band. So Elena and Patrick, you're a married couple, and this is where the story starts.
Yeah, with some romance, I suppose. It starts with romance.
That's always nice. That's always nice. So when did you start working on music together and kind of come to the idea of Dennis?
I don't think we really ever had any ambitions for our band. When we first started...
We have no ambition.
Yeah, we
for
still
ourselves.
don't really have any. But when we first started, we were just having fun, and it was just kind of a creative outlet that we both needed in our lives from our 9 to 5 grind that we were doing for...
Actually, like a little told story is that we actually had like a list of like stress relieving activities you could do. And, it's like drink a bottle of wine, have some exercise, try painting, take up an instrument. And we were like going through the list, like, what can we do? And painting really didn't work.
Yeah, and we were both like dropout music majors. So we
So we thought that was like path of least resistance.
Yeah, let's just do that.
It turned out to be extremely stress relieving, so much that we wrote like 1,000 songs and now do it full time.
One of our dumb friends, though, was like, hey, I just heard, one of the songs that you guys wrote. You guys should release that. And
yeah, what an idiot.
dumb friend made us release our own music. And we somehow, it just got popular, and we got a record deal out of it. That's how we're here.
And wasn't there some involvement from Patrick Carney of the Black Keys at some...
That happened a little later. That happened
later.
after our first album. But
Okay.
we self-produced our first album. And when we went into the studio to record our second, we wanted to work with someone who had also self-produced a lot of their own music.
And he's like an incredibly generous, approachable person. All we did was email him. I shouldn't even disclose like how we got his email. I'm sorry, Pat Carney. But he was so kind. He like called right back and was like, he just is he loves music. He's a true fan and has been so supportive.
Yeah. Yeah, so with Ritual and Repeat, I see that Patrick did produce as well as Jim Eno from Spoon and Richard Swift,
Yeah.
who's worked with the Shins and actually performed with the Shins here for KCRW, who I'm kind of in awe of Richard Swift.
Everyone's in awe, or will be eventually, in awe of Richard Swift. He actually plays with the Black Keys now, too, which
Oh,
was really
really?
weird. And we got to see them play when they came through Denver, and we had like 2/3 of our producer team like backstage together, which was like a really amazing moment.
Totally. You should ask, if you ever interview them, ask them how they ended up knowing Richard Swift, because I feel like we are the reason why. Because we were working with Pat, and
You'd like to consider yourself
I
a
know.
matchmaker?
just let us have it.
Well, what an amazing group to work with to help shape the sound. Talk a little bit about their contributions. Do you feel like there are certain things about each person that that you appreciated?
Yeah, I mean, we wrote this album a little differently than we had our previous albums. We, wrote this body of work. It took a really damn long time. Damn's not a curse word.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Don't
great.
keep
People
saying
love
it,
it.
just in case.
I actually have a dump button, so in case you do,
Okay,
Perfect.
well,
yeah, I have a 7-second delay.
you can just put him on mute right now.
But anyway, so we wrote this body of work, and we were like, hey, I think it'd be cool to like kind of tailor each of these songs to certain producers that we think would do them the most justice. So we kind of made our dream team list of like, these 3 songs would be awesome if this person did them. These 5 songs would be awesome if this person did it.
And we approached each of them. They have like a lot of overlap of like things that they do that we admire, but they all have their own, unique experiences and history within music. And, the best part of it, working with a producer is being able to learn from them. So I think we went into it like, selfishly desiring to get as much out of that as we could. So we just assembled this list, and I can't believe that that it worked out and everyone was willing to participate, but it was really amazing for us.
Totally.
That's the best when it just happens, organically that way.
I know.
Meant
So,
to be.
with now tons of music out there and many shows, do you have a sense of how many shows you've played?
Yeah, well, actually, we the other day counted how many hotel rooms we stayed in. For some reason, shows
Or how
doesn't
many
matter.
nights in a hotel. Yeah.
But we were over 400, which was really interesting that we had spent over a year of our lives in
Pretty
hotel
great
rooms.
number. I don't know how many shows we've played.
I
though.
bet that's like maybe 350 shows
close.
or something like that. Yeah.
So how has that changed what you do? I mean, is the story as much about the two of you writing songs together the way that it was maybe in the beginning, or have things kind of morphed and changed and taken a different...
They change like every day. Like
Yeah, it's so different. It started off as a very private thing, something shared between Patrick and I, which are, we're in a romantic relationship and based on an experience that only we had, this sailing trip that we had years ago that was extremely isolating. And it was really weird to transition from that very private experience to being a public thing and becoming a public career and having to suddenly lead a public life, like with even just between being on stage singing about a time when I was totally alone with nature. Is a weird thing, but a special thing, and amazing that people connect with that and that they're interested. But it's very surreal, and it's constantly like a learning experience, and it really has changed,
So
how the song started to where they
it
are
goes
now.
from that to literally, this happened yesterday. We had to do like a red carpet thing, and I literally was wearing an Amazon Prime brand turtleneck on this red carpet event.
They make those?
What the hell am I doing?
They make amazing turtlenecks on Amazon Prime. You can get them in packs, like 6 packs for like $20. And if you're like Pat and you just like a good turtleneck, that's what you can do.
Just give me a good turtleneck.
Do you feel like you've had to adjust to the potential of your music being, so accessible and pop and infectious and people responding to it, and maybe you kind of playing catch up on, wow, I mean, people really expect this to be presented on a whole other level, because you're very down to earth and you've always been that way, and so have some of the spotlight and the red carpet situations been super awkward?
It's
And
extremely discomforting. I've had to adjust to the idea of our music having potential at all, much less any like measure
Yeah,
of
it's almost like people want you to grow your ego or something, which is something we always resist, and it ends up just turning us in on ourselves and making us more introverted.
Well, I think there are different kinds of performers. There's the performer that's like, it's about the crowd and them, turning all their energy towards them and being really engaging. And then there's that performer that's like, it's more voyeuristic, like they're alone and turned in on themselves and you're just an observer. And I feel like that's kind of more along the lines of where we stand. It's more like, for people who are interested, like opening the door for them to like witness a private thing. And as long as I think of it like that, it feels more comfortable doing a very private thing in public.
does that affect the venues, the choice of venues sometimes?
Totally. I think,
Yeah.
there's that sweet spot of like a 300, like the Troubadour sized room. And it's a beautiful experience. Like you can still make eye contact with everyone in the room, which there's like a vulnerability in that for the audience member. But once there's this like us, them, where the crowd is,
A sea of faceless masses.
yeah, a face that, or like even if the stage is like, if there's a gap from the stage to the audience that's more than like 5 feet,
Yeah.
all of a sudden there's this us them mentality, and it's almost like you're either trying to sway them into doing something or they're trying to sway you into doing something. But I definitely
Yeah, smaller is better,
I want
for
to stay
sure.
in those small rooms. That's where we do our best.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the Troubadour, because that is where you're playing, and
It
we'll
is.
have tickets for that show coming up on Friday, May 1st. So we have a few weeks. Are you just touring ahead of coming back to LA?
Actually, we were out here because last night we played an event for the David Lynch Foundation.
Oh yeah.
Which is like a seminal moment in my life, probably an unforgettable one because I'm a huge, huge fan.
Tell us about it.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, all like our heroes basically assembled to each sing a song from a David Lynch soundtrack. We worked with the band Twin Peaks. They're like totally amazing humans, and we learned Roy Orbison's "In Dreams." And we
You're
performed
boring.
that.
You're boring everyone right now. You should just tell them.
Yeah,
tell them
Roy
the meat of the
Orbison's
story.
super boring.
No. But tell them about your experience
Oh
with
my
Donovan.
gosh, I met
'cause
Donovan last night.
Nice.
And he held my hands and looked into my eyes and said, "Everything that's important is invisible." And I was like, yes, you're right. You're so right. Thank
then
you.
I sense an album title.
Seriously.
Yeah, oh my, I'm starting my own side project because Donovan empowered me.
No, and he empowered me too. We both had like separate personal experiences with Donovan last night. And one, I was just like practicing the song in the green room, and he like grabbed my guitar and he's like, "That's a beautiful guitar. Do you mind if I play it?" And then he's like, "Let me teach you my 2 favorite chords." And he's like, "I use these chords on almost every Donovan song." And I was like, "Okay."
What an
This is
amazing
amazing.
person. Yeah. So
And presumably David Lynch was there.
he was there. I didn't meet him, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because he's like too on a pedestal for me, and I kind of like it that way. I just want to leave him
Yeah,
untouched
we don't
on
want
the
him
pedestal.
to be a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's special. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you. I know. I'm like, I couldn't even sleep last night. I was so happy.
Our guests today in studio, the band Tennis, and we are speaking with Elena and Patrick. I want to ask you before we go to your second set about the band and how that has changed. You spoke about how personal the process is for you, and that extends out to the live space. But what about contributions to writing? Has that changed for you?
We still haven't opened the door to new writers. We've talked a lot about it. We played with the idea with doing some writing with Patrick Carney, which I'd still love to do one day. But so far it's stayed just between Patrick
it's
and
funny.
myself.
We've actually think like there's this turning point where we didn't realize that like, there's this distinction between artists that solely write their own music and artists that kind of collaborate. But it all happened with this record deal we were offered a while back. I won't say who it was or whatever, but it had basically like they use the term co-writing, but ghostwriting is usually the word I use. But it was in the contract, and that was the first time we ever saw that before. And we were like, "What does this mean? Can you explain this to us?" And it was like, "Yeah, you have to work with these people, and you have to make a song with them." And they're people, that we've never even thought about or
Really?
ever thought about working with. And I
Yeah,
think
it's a weird thing. It's just not something we're interested in doing. For us, writing is the most challenging, most creatively rewarding part. It's definitely the hardest part. And I think that's why we're so drawn to it. So we hold really tightly to that.
Yeah.
Have you been working on a new album?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I think we're like trying to wrap our heads around even what we want to do with it, because I feel like we've kind of covered some ground in these last years. So we
have a lot of half-finished songs in the bank right now.
Yeah, and I think there's a mentality that goes along with it too. Like we want to just kind of change it up again and figure out a way to make it new for us.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to it. So thank you
So do I.
for coming through.
Thank
Tennis,
you.
live on KCRW. As we head into your second set, a quick reminder that we're going to have autographed copies of the most recent album, Ritual and Repeat, along with pairs of tickets for our KCRW members to attend the show, sold out at the Troubadour here in West Hollywood on May 1st. Tennis, live on Morning Becomes Eclectic.
A vision I start to slip away. But your love is divine. You know I'm coming for you. When I think that you're mine, you start to slip away. Let me out calling. Come on and let me out calling. Can you feel it? It's falling. I'm calling. I'm calling. Just when I think that you're mine, you start to slip away. But your love is divine. You know I'm coming for you. When I think that you're mine, you start to slip away. But your love is divine. I hear you calling. When I think that you're mine, you start to slip away. But your love is divine. You know I'm coming for you. When I think that you're mine, you start to slip away. You slip away. You slip away. You slip away. You slip away.
This next one we're gonna do is a stripped down version of the song Bad Girls, which is on our record. Patrick and I discovered it when we started playing the demo version live, that it had this like incredible emotional component that we didn't really realize in the full band version. So we're gonna share that with you now.
Even bad girls can do good things. Even bad girls have holy dreams. Oh, I'm not so transparent. My intentions, they ain't so apparent. Bad girls, bad girls, bad girls, bad girls. Even bad girls have tender hearts. Even bad girls can fall apart in the night. Oh, I am transformed by the next day. I've been reborn. If it were physical, it would show. If it were spiritual, I would know. If it were physical, it would show. If it were spiritual, I would know. There is a need always dividing me from all the things that I've been hiding. The truth, you know, you'll never never find, I'll never have any peace of mind. It's true, I know I'll never find, I'll never have any peace of mind. If it were physical, it would show. If it were spiritual, I would know. If it were physical, it would show. If it were spiritual, I would know. You know I love a good ceremony. Yeah. That's why I chose matrimony. Yeah. Oh, I never want to feel ashamed. I just can't bear that kind of pain. There is a need always dividing me from all the things that I've been hiding. Yeah, bad girls, 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 bad girls.
Nicely done. Tennis. Live on KCRW and live on stage at the Troubadour. Friday, May 1st, KCRW presents Tennis. Sold out, but we have tickets and autographed copies of their most recent album, Ritual in Repeat, for KCRW members. If you haven't won a giveaway from us in the past 90 days, you qualify. Call us for your chance to win tickets for the show at the Troub, 1st of May. That's a Friday night for Tennis Live. Call us at 877-600-5279 for your chance to win. 877-600-5279. These CDs and tickets available to our current members only, first come, first served basis, and they're non-transferable. All right. Well, you have an encore for us, yes?
Yeah, we got one more for you. We're going to play Needle and a Knife.
All right. Thanks so much, and hope to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.